Sige.
Go.
Good morning. Good morning, sir. Good morning, classmates. So we are group 6. So the member of group 6 is Jumel Bisilote, Jan Vincent Pehe, Neil Tabura, Camil Gopio, and Raylan Espina. So we are going to report the piston overhaul of a main propulsion engine. So the frequency of piston drawing out check varies according to the daily maintenance, especially the lubricating oil, control, and load, overload, and excessively low load. Therefore, the supervisor is required to decide the four frequencies. So, we're going now to discuss the preparation of overhauling. First is make sure that all standby auxiliary engines are ready. We all know that auxiliary engines. Next is read the manual and have a toolbox meeting with everyone involved in the job. Discuss a previous. So, it is very important to us to read the manual before overhauling. So next is prepare the important tools and spares required for overhauling liner as given in the manual. So importante sa tuan na prepare ang right tools to avoid damages of the mga tools. So next is a prepare risk assessment and make sure all personnel safety equipment are used. So importante po ni ang safety sa each crew. Next, put the display card meant at work. Don't start at low oil pump auxiliary engine breaker. So, importante sa ni to avoid accident. So, close air bottle valve to auxiliary engine and engine start and stop valve. Next, see that the turning bar is not in the flywheel and should be in place. Next, open the indicator cocks and close low oil, fresh water inlet outlet valve, drain the cooling water and remove the connection. Next reporter is Neil Tabura.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, classmate. I'm Nil Ramon Tabora. I'm the one to report the overhauling. First is screw lifting eye bolt into the piston and lift it by 20 to 30 millimeter. Second, loosen the connecting rod bolts with the specified disassembling tool and then remove the bolts and metal cap. Third, set the piston at a position of about 30 degrees after TDC top dead center. Fourth, eliminate the carbon from the upper part of the cylinder liner. 5. Remove the disassembling tools and protection ring. 6. Set the piston at a position about 80 degrees to 90 before the TDC. 7. Prepare the tools as per the manual. 8. Place the protection ring drawing out tool 1 on the piston. 9. Place the tools so that its outer taper face toward the piston and do not allow it to make contact with the cylinder liner. Next, attach the liner retaining implement 2 and spacer 3 and lock them with. So that's all the one you should do when you want to overhaul the machine. Second, piston overhaul of diesel engine. Next tool. First, diesel engines require regular maintenance and attention as minor issues can quickly lead to costly damage. Luckily, an engine overhaul is a good way to correct numerous problems, and it costs a fraction of the price of a replacement. Second, when the piston is overhauled, as per the planned maintenance or due to breakdown reasons, the liner ovality must be checked and liner surface must be inspected for various defects. So, the next reporter is Realin Pina.
Good morning, sir, and good morning, classmates. I'm going to report now. I'm Ariel Spina. The overhaul process involves taking the engine apart and diligently of identifying faulty components, Once everything is replaced and cleaned, a professional will rebuild the engine. An overhaul can help improve the performance and power of a diesel machine. Regular maintenance can also elongate the life of engines, giving you more bang for your buck. Next, taking crankshaft deflections of for diesel engines, we have to examine the running of compression's ignition engine. Many of the defects that occurs on such units are down to wear in the main bearing, causing the crankshaft to change its longitudinal straightness. Usually, the first diagnosed test on such an engine is to take a series of measurements between the crank's wheel at various points round the circles of rotations called a somewhat inaccurate crankshaft deflections. And that's all, and thank you.
So the next reporter is Jumel Pistolate.
Good morning, sir. I'm Jamel Pasaliote. I'm going to report if driving engine is of the compressor ignition type with a cylinder bore about 200 mm 10 inches. It is also necessary to consider the alignment of the crankshaft. Crankshaft below that size, that the overall stiffness and small size of the unit, and the fact that the crankshaft is itself is an integral forging make the measure of the crankshaft deflection both extreme difficult and unnecessary. Replace next pre. Next pre. Replacing a leakage mechanical seal of main engine lube oil pump. In order to understand the centrifugal pump leakage itself, is important to first understand the basic operation of the centrifugal pump. As a flow enters through the impeller eye of the pump and up the impeller vanes, and the fluid is at a lower pressure and a lower velocity. When the flow passes through the volute, the pressure increases and the velocity increases. The flow that exists through the discharge, and which point the pressure is high but the velocity slow. The flow that goes into the pump has to go out of the pump. The pump impairs head and or pressure, which means it increases the energy of the pump fluid. The mechanical seal is the device that used to control the leakage between our rotating shaft and the liquid or gas filled vessel. It's mainly responsibility to
Ako tugol.
okay, bro.
So the next reporter is Mr. P.
Good morning, sir, and my members. So the step-by-step process to replace a mechanical seal on a water pump. It is the concept of centrifugal force in this pump. A shaft spins at incredible speed and rotates an impeller. Thus, a vacuum is created through centrifugal force which pulls water. To prevent the water from entering into the electrical system, a mechanical seal is installed centrifugal pump behind the impeller. When there is damage to the seal due to water and tear, it next Here is a step-by-step process to achieve the task. First is disconnect the pump first. Next, unscrew the bolt and take the pump out. Next, remove the seal. Next, replace the seal. And last, put everything in place again.
So, good morning, sir. So that's all of our report is about the overhauling, piston overhaul of main propulsion engine. So, from other information, you can search that. If you are not clarify our discussion, you can search in the YouTube the piston overhaul, the main propulsion engine. So that's all. Thank you.